as usual, Red Bull shows that they're the top team when it comes to engineering, not engineering, as setup and methodology. It's like this year in year out. Their car sucks with balance and everything in the free practices up even up until let's say getting into Q1. Then when they get that Max bitches to them to a high level and they figure out tactically and also what they need to do with the car to give it the best chance of winning on the weekend. And then they stick with that. And it usually works out. And it's because of the feedback that Max gives and the way that he really harangues them. So what happened with this race was this is brilliant. They need to have they need to have a PhD on what these guys did. Max realized that, and Yuki said it too, that car has understeer. So Max said, you know what? Fuck this shit. If we now deal with the understeer by doing some other things, it's going to mess up things elsewhere. So just trim my wing, my back wing. Just give me less back wing. Yuki, I don't think he could handle that. So Yuki actually fortified his back wing, and that's one of the reasons he had a slow time and went out in Q2. But what Max basically did was sacrifice downforce and rear stability because he doesn't need it. That's how good a driver is. He turned that car into an arrow. Fronty, more speed on straight line and more speed on the corners, but no stability, which is why he said 5 times he thought he was going to crash on those turns. And on Degnum, he took an insane amount of speed, which would have probably killed most people, and they would have ended up like Senna. Most people would have ended up like Senna. You saw what happened to Duhan.
Yeah.
Max pushed that
Yeah,
car to
yeah.
the limit. Max went to the limit, and only he can do it. He's proven now that he's the fastest, not just the best driver technically, the fastest driver ever. To take that type of speed into those two Degnum corners and to not come out of it dead, it shows what he could do. And it shows because his biggest skill is that when there's no rear end stability, he's able to rotate and be patient and have smooth driving and also use a technique. I call it gliding. He sort of like micro corrects and just basically says, let me get this thing through here, through the apex and get out of here. But also he prepares because when he went fast through the Degnum and everything, he did put on his brakes to prepare for the next slow speed corner. So he does have to slow down a little bit, which gave Norris some chances to try to recover what Norris loses because Norris doesn't go into those insane high speed corners or into that insane Degnum with the same type of speed as Verstappen. So Verstappen has so much speed that it made up for the deficit of him slowing down on the slow speed corner. But at the same time, on the slow speed corner, he basically glid that thing and managed it until he could get back and then zoom again on the straights. What are your thoughts, Afolabi? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, guys. The reason I'm saying that is because that was the race. The real race today was nothing. That was the race. Okay, go ahead, Afolabi.
Oh yeah, I quite agree with you. The qualifying was the race, but I think I dove my heart. First of all, Max Verstappen's ability is not in question. We know how good he is, but I think his engineering team deserves a lot of plaudits here. They were marvelous. It was amazing
Yeah,
how they were able to extract as much power and pace from that car. He drove
yeah,
smartly. He was blindingly quick when he needed, especially at the chicane at 10 and 11. He drove really well and he was able to keep the McLarens out of the DRS zones, which was very smart. It was a flawless
yeah,
piece of smart driving, really. But the difficult part was yesterday. That astonishing lap in qualifying was just astonishing, and he
yeah,
was able to his composure under pressure. Look at the lap 22 when both him and Lando were pitting, you know.
yeah,
Despite the drama, he was, cheekily referring to Lando as driving himself into the grass, and Piastri too was putting so much pressure on Lando. So the guy didn't really know what to do
Like
at
he didn't give me space. He didn't give me space. No, I think somebody said both of them were exaggerating. Both of them were
yeah.
exaggerating.
So he could he
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
these
Crazy.
McLaren drivers would actually create a scenario that would give Max Verstappen an opportunity because Piastri was putting Lando under a lot of pressure. So he
Oh yeah,
couldn't drive in a way to kick Max as much as would have been required. Maybe if
yeah,
Piastri was second, he would have put Max under much more pressure. But their
yeah,
competitiveness is going to open a window of opportunity for smart
yeah.
drivers like the
I'm
likes of
telling you.
Max and
And,
Russell.
and and Peter Windsor said this 2 years ago. The car is not the problem. Norris is not the problem. Piastri is. They basically ended Norris's legacy by bringing Piastri there because it has upset his balance and equilibrium, and he's not able to do the best that he can do. This is why you see Max saying, "No, Sainz is not coming to my team." Max didn't even want Yuki to come. After Q1, we were all thinking, man, Yuki's on. But after free practice one, I was like, damn, I hope Yuki don't embarrass Max, But little did we know, Max is on another stratosphere. He's in another stratosphere. What are your thoughts? We're gonna stick to topic now. What are your thoughts on the race? Uh, uh, I'm so fucked
Hello?
up right
Yeah,
now.
man.
Larato,
It's
Larato.
okay. Yo,
I
Kunle,
had some
what's good?
whiskey this morning. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was a great race. And we knew Red Bull was gonna be strong. This week. As they had also sort of like predicted.
yeah.
That this would be a circuit that they would be great at. Um, but also the engineering prowess, as you said, like steady setup improvements from FP1 all the way to qualifying, to get the car in the right window, for Max to do what he needed to do. And unfortunately, um, Yuki messed up his setup, because I think he was prepping for rain.
Oh, so that's why he had more downforce. Yeah.
Yeah, which is why he had more downforce, and the rain never came. So he was expecting rain, um, but I think even under the circumstances that he was at, he at least ticked the few boxes of getting out of Q1,
Hmm.
um,
And he finished
and
P11,
and
which
at
is good,
least
which is not bad. Yeah.
yeah, which is not bad. Um, and yeah, like we had said, even when you check telemetry and like lap times and all those things, where Max won the race, even in his fastest lap was being fast through the corners. I think it's only one corner through which Lando was faster, but throughout all the corners, throughout the S's, the first turn, all those things, even that hairpin, going into the hairpin, Max is faster. There's just like a slight margin where Lando sort of was coming for him, but as soon as he was out of there, then he was out of there.
Yeah, that's crazy,
And
man.
of course, yeah. The benefit of having clean air, which sort of messed up Lando's race and his
Yeah,
pace,
because sorry, but in
because
the
he
qualifying, Lando was actually getting more speed through the corners, but Verstappen was getting more speed into them. But the level of speed he was bringing into them was just enough to offset Lando. But like you said, in the race, Max was faster because of clean air. Sorry. Yeah. Mhm.
sure. And yeah, and he had to keep backing off to sort of preserve his tires, and that also somehow I think inadvertently, sort of compromised PSV's race a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, I think Piastri could have done better because we know him to be
Yeah.
a lot more aggressive.
Aggressive.
So had he been in second pace, we would have
Yeah.
seen a
It's
much
too
closer race.
controversial. Yeah, I wouldn't say do it, but they probably if they wanted to win that race, they should have made Norris go back and give him the position. Then if he couldn't catch Max, then let him give it back to Norris. But they're not going to do that. Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
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 That would have been too crazy, especially at this early stage of the season where
It's
both
not worth.
both
Yeah.
both drivers are still in it with a chance to sort of, mathematically, that is, to
Oh
win
yeah,
the
they're
champ.
still the favorite. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. But
All
yeah,
right.
but I think a lost opportunity for McLaren to sort of secure the 1-2, even though I think in terms of constructors championship, they still up there.
Yeah, but
Um,
forget about lost opportunity. I keep saying it, and nobody wants to. I'm not talking about you guys. Nobody wants to listen to me. People make fun of me on YouTube because I keep saying this every week. They say, "Oh, you're just hating on Norris." Norris is having problems with that car. He has continues bailing out of laps. Continues, which shows he's not confident. If you take all of his purple sectors, he should have qualified first. It's clear that Norris is having handling problems with that car because the car has become edgy and fronty. This is a systemic problem that he's messing around with because he should have easily won the qualifiers. What do you think about that quickly? Then we'll